So excited. First time doing an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
You first?
Yep.
Well, I have this beautiful aloe plant to share with you. It's sitting right here. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So today I'm interviewing Shawna Pennock because she's bringing her live warm up to Hong Kong. Okay. So Shawna Pennock, she's currently the professor of saxophone at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and we met when we were doing our masters at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. And Shauna has been doing a Zoom live warm up for saxophonists during the pandemic. Shauna, do you want to give an overview of your live warm up?
Of course. And thank you for having me here to talk about this. Live warm up is just that. It's a warm up that I lead saxophonists through in real time. I'm playing the whole time and everyone is on mute. So it's like you're playing with me. And I always had the most fun playing with my friends. Playing with Chemi was one of my favorite things in my masters. So the live warm up, some of the things we do, mouthpiece pitches occasionally. We always do long tones, articulations, and we also run through some scales. And of course, to end every warm up, we also do some stretches because we don't want muscles to get tight. We are athletes after all.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like it. I really like the stretches too. It's kind of a chance for us all to talk as well. I mean, I'll be counting everything out and telling you what to stretch, but at the same time, people will pop in with questions.
Okay, that's cool. I've actually been doing a lot more stretches during the pandemic because I have free time and I want to live a healthier lifestyle. So I've been doing that. And I think it really helps.
Oh, yeah, it does. And it's very important for us. I mean, yes, we're musicians, but I consider us athletes as well, and we have to take care of our bodies.
Yeah. Because we have so many repetitive movements that's actually really easy to get hurt.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, I have a question that I think a lot of saxophonists would want to know, and is why do you need a good warm up? What does it do?
This is a great segue. So we were just talking about how we should treat our bodies with care and we should treat them like athletes treat them. And you never see a runner go out and just sprint right away. You always see them do a warm up, do some stretches. And I think that's important as a musician to warm up our minds and our bodies to get ready for some serious skill building exercises and for playing our instrument.
Okay, I agree with that.
Do you? Are you sure?
I do. I warm up every day, but I want to hear your perspective and your way of talking about why you need a good warm up. Yeah, I think
So,
it makes a huge difference throughout the day.
mhm. Yeah. On top of that, I just feel like whenever I pick up the horn and just try to play without a warm up, nothing is working right away, especially my air. I have to engage my whole body and engage my breathing and kind of check in with everything and make sure everything's ready to go, everything's warmed up and ready to move the way I need it to for
Yeah,
the advanced things that I'm trying to play.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Next question. I've heard that you have a lot of creative exercises in your live warm up. And do you have any suggestions or any idea of how to be creative during your warm up? Because I think a lot of people have a misconception about warm ups and think that they're boring and they just want to skip it. So let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of my students tell me they don't like warming up. At least they did last year before I developed these fun exercises. So the first thing I came up with this summer during the pandemic was the long tone puzzler.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I took a melody from a standard piece of the saxophone repertoire and I turned it all into whole notes, broke them into groups of 4, much like we see in many long tone exercises, and made it into a game. So every morning during the live warm-up, I would put up the long tone puzzler, tell everyone not to cheat, don't play it all right away so you don't hear it, and then play through, and everyone had to write in when they figured out which piece it was. So, and there was also a prize for the person. People would be entered into a drawing to win a prize if they got it right, and a lot of people did. But you'd be surprised how difficult it is without the rhythm there from the piece. So it was a way to engage everyone's brains and make the long tones not boring. Because how many times have you played through long tones and gone, oh my gosh, when is this going to be done? Like, I just want this to be over. I just want to play real fast and real high. But as we said earlier, it's so important to start off slow and not killing ourselves playing the horn. So these puzzlers are a way to engage your brain in a fun way and just allow yourself to play through these notes with ease and make them as beautiful as possible. So that was the first thing, the long tone puzzler. Second thing was the articulation dance parties. So it's a funny name, but there is some dancing that happens. Not, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I took a piece from the radio, a song, a popular tune, if you will, and I took some of the rhythms from the melodies or from the bass line or from the guitar riffs, and I would plug them in on the saxophone and just create a piece of sheet music that had all these written down. So if you press play on these pop tunes, you could play right along with it. And so during the live warm-up, I would put the music up on the screen. We would work through some of the difficult rhythms because as all these exercises, we're trying to push ourselves a little bit while we're warming up. And we would get these rhythms down and press play, and everyone would be playing right along with the pop tune. And it's really fun. And I think it really reminded a lot of young saxophonists of a different way to practice, that it doesn't have to be boring to practice articulation. In fact, it shouldn't, because if it's boring, you're not going to want to do it every day. If you make it fun, you're going to want to come back every day and keep playing it and keep making yourself better. So that's where the articulation dance party came from.
So making your warm-ups into games?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think the long tone puzzlers would be a great way for saxophonists to know about more repertoire. I'm sure there would be new pieces that I get to know when I'm doing the puzzles. Pretty
Yeah,
sure about that.
there were 2 pieces that not a lot of people got right away. Or it took at least 3 or 4 days of doing it for people to finally chime in with an answer. So one of them was the Romance by William Grant Still, which is a known piece, but I don't think a lot of people have played it in the beginning of their schooling. So early undergrad, you may not have played it yet. And that was a lot of people in the warm-up. And another one, it was the Soprano Concerto by Jennifer Higdon. So, and I had a lot of students who, after that week of the warm-up, I'd announce what piece it was, and they were like, I'm gonna buy it. And I'd see people buying these pieces on Facebook, and it was so cool. It was like spreading the word of all this repertoire out there.
Nice. And for the articulation party, dance party,
Yeah.
taking pop music, other styles into our saxophone playing, I think that's really fun and really useful.
Oh yeah, it is so much fun. I mean, I was dancing. There's some videos online of the articulation dance parties, and you see me doing horn flashes as we're playing along. But what was really cool about the dance parties, I always formatted it so in the beginning of the song, we're working on the easier rhythms, and then the rhythms get more difficult as the song goes on. And then about 3/4 the way through, there's an improv section. So, once you've developed your rhythmic skills and your articulation skills, you get to create your own articulations and different rhythms within that little improv. And then, of course, we all close on playing the melody together again. But
Mm.
I always love that little improv part because it lets people just kind of let loose with their new articulation knowledge.
Yeah, I love improvs.
I know you do.
Ah. Okay, so next question. Well, I think so. You mentioned that you were doing this live warm up thing every day during the pandemic, and I think that's really that's great because you're offering this to saxophonists, to the community. And why do you think this live warm up is good during the pandemic?
I think at the core of it, people were not necessarily coming to become better saxophonists. I think they were coming to play with people in any way we really could at that time, and it's really still. So many people sent me messages after they had attended for a while and said, "Thank you so much. This really helped keep me motivated. It was so fun to see everyone every day." And it just really, and it helped me too. It helped me feel like I was seeing people that I knew and cared about. And I developed so many new friends through this. And I think other people did too. I heard through my students that they met people through the live warm up and they're still in contact with them. So really, more than just keeping our saxophone chops up, I think people were building friendships, but keeping interactions up. And I think that we really needed that during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everyone needs human connection.
Yes,
And we
absolutely.
yeah, we've lost a lot of that in the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, so much. On the other hand, I think it gave a lot of us more time to reach out to people we wouldn't necessarily reach out to all the time
Yeah.
during our busy schedules. I mean, you and I are busy performers, and it was so difficult for us to find time to Skype and talk before the pandemic. And since the pandemic happened, we've talked more than we probably would have. And I think a lot of people have gone through that same thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I would not go as far to say I'm thankful for the pandemic, but I'm thankful that I've been able to talk to you more and some of my other friends too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
the bright side of the pandemic.
It's like an album title right there. The
Ooh.
bright side of the pandemic.
Okay. Well, last question from me. Did anything happen in the live warm up that surprises you in a good way?
Um, I would say the people the people that showed up were the surprising thing to me. I mean, originally this was just for my college students at UNLV. This was just a way for them to be able to see each other when we couldn't anymore, when we were told to stay in our houses. And then I opened it up for more people. It was mostly for my students and then local high school students. I said, "Hey, come on down to the Zoom room and join us for a warm up." And then I got so many inquiries from college students and then from some college teachers and from some of my, former colleagues in school, and then from people I didn't really know either. But I think the most surprising thing was the variety of skill levels that showed up, from professional all the way down to middle school student. There was something in the live warm up for everyone, and everyone could engage in it without feeling out of place.
Mm-hmm.
But one little funny story I will share with you. We were playing through the long tone, I think it was a long tone puzzler, and my dog Watson joined in. My dog is a beautiful 60-pound
What's
husky pit bull mix, and he likes to sing. and he started howling along with me, and it was disruptive, and it was right beside me, and I saw people on the screen start laughing and like they're pulling their horns away from their face and just like losing their minds, and I had to turn and like tell him to stop. I was like, stop it, buddy, and keep going. But that was pretty funny. And pretty shocking when it happened, just because it was so loud, and seeing everyone's reaction was hysterical to me.
Yeah. Watson, I
I feel
used
like everyone knows Watson now.
to.
He's more famous than me.
Oh. Oh, he's cute.
He's super cute. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I feel like the live warm up thing is super fun, and I've wanted to join, but it's in a different time zone. It's on the opposite side of the world, so it didn't make much sense for me to warm up at night.
I
but
know.
but now you're bringing it to Hong Kong.
I'm bringing it to Hong Kong. That's right.
Yeah, super excited.
Yes. I mean, it's sad that I can't actually travel to Hong Kong and do it live from a computer in Hong Kong, but that's kind of the beauty of this situation is I can be behind a computer in Las Vegas and still bring the warm up anywhere around the world. And I love Hong Kong. It's one of my favorite places I visited about 10 years ago, and I really want to come back, but this will have to do for now.
Right. Mm, I think that's pretty much it for the interview.
Jugging,
Jackie.
jugging.